thing that makes Tough Guy unique and the best OCR event possibly in the world is the one event that will challenge you both physically, mentally and emotionally for the whole duration. And the feeling you get when you cross that finish line is immense. You start breaking down in tears, and as soon as you get that piece of brass, it goes away. It's amazing.
So I'm Mr. Mouse, creator of obstacle running, which is now spread all over the world, and all of the world are coming here to see us on the original course, which is beautiful. Way back in 1978, I decided to join the jogging craze, and I built the first off-road run, the first half marathon. Then I joined London Marathon in 1981, and I decided, because we were running a horse sanctuary here, that we would run it as a pantomime horse.
The athletes wait for the signal to start their journey of 26 miles, 385 yards.
We've done up to 20 miles as a horse, so we're hoping for about 3.25 hours today.
Did you get round last year, did you?
Yeah, all the way. But we had to pack the horse into a rucksack and carry it between us. This year we're going to keep together.
You're trying to stay in this formation all the way around, are you? Best of luck. It looks like a very uncomfortable contraption to me. Let's move along to the old man at the back. Whose idea was this?
Well, we decided, this is London, so we'll give you a bit of a swirl,
In those days you could choose which start you wanted to do, so we went with the front runners in the 2 hours, 30 minutes.
There's that horse again, Mitchell Billy Wilson.
A marathon was an athlete's run. So you've got to be a club runner, an athlete to do. And these new fun runners were, so people were saying, what are you doing? What are you doing in our race dressed in this fancy dress costume? And we got to about 3 miles and they were moaning and groaning. I said, oh God. I said, Mitchell, step up a gear.
And that horse, Mitch and Billy Wilson. And they too. That's a tremendous run.
So we stepped up at the pace and we went, and all these moaners, we left them behind. We ran the London Marathon and we ran to the Palace, and there was Prince Charles waving. So I said, let's do the crest. So we ran around the statue outside Buckingham Palace 2 or 3 times, waving to the crowd. They loved it.
Equestrian enthusiasm. The royal family shows. They've had a marvellous run and they're going to finish in a good time. Father and son, and the father at the back must be some athlete.
That started the craze, or the wonderful thing, of the fun running. We were the first fun runners in the world in a marathon. And then obviously everybody likes to dress up. So that was a good start. But then I organised, joined Chris Brasher, we got together and said we'll organise a correct and proper manner to organise events. So we organised all the marathons up and down the country, and I said we need to do something off-road. So I thought of the idea of the Tough Guy, and Chris said, well, don't put any distance on it, don't let them know. And John Disley said, and put some quirky names to it. So we created Tough Guy, which was 1986, and then we put them in through the first few little tiny obstacles, and they loved it.
This is the concept of the original fun run reborn, isn't it?
I think this is reliving everything we saw in 1979 and 80 when we first launched marathons and the running boom started. This has created it all again.
Obstacle racing, obstacle running has come partly from army obstacle courses, which you run over a short distance, and they're there to test your fear and mental and your physical ability. and cross country. So I combined the two because cross country, Brendan Foster had turned cross country into a clinical path race where there's no mud and everything else. But go back 100 years, and the universities did proper obstacle running, which was steeplechasing, travel to a steeple to steeple, go through over a hedge, over a fence, through a stream and everything. So I said we'd bring that back, and then we added to it the obstacle circuits from the army. So we started jumping over bales of hay, bales of straw. We built them higher. I built a ramp that high, and they said they'll never do that. I said they will, because they'll enjoy it.
Oh, John, when we built this, we wondered whether they would. And today it seems a puny hazard.
So I'm seeing enjoyment in thrills, in something different like that. So that egged me on, and then we had 100, 500, 1,000 people, and then the challenge came up. I'd write to them and say, I'm going to beat you next year, I'm going to build something tough, and they say, you won't beat us.
It's a new one we thought up, and if they're brave enough, you know, it's just, there you are, he's having a go, look, it's as quick over the top as it is through the water.
So we started building a couple and 3 new obstacles every year as the money came in, and we built them higher and higher and higher. Well, once we decided that it was a going event, instead of putting them up and taking them down every year, we decided to build them permanently. So what you see today is like 27, 30 years of imagination.
I've been doing Tough Guy now for around 15 years, 20 years. I've been an ambassador for them for many a decade. It is the premier obstacle race about. You know, this is the first place that first started it all off. This is the mecca of obstacle course racing. You can't call yourself an obstacle course runner unless you've been here.
This race has an aura about it. There's just this atmosphere around Tough Guy, surrounding Tough Guy. So before you even get here, you've seen the videos, you've heard stories, and it just gets you inside.
I think the difference with Tough Guy is Mr. Mouse. He brings so much of himself into it, and it really sets itself apart from a lot of other race brands.
You just have to come here to realise why this is different from every other event like it on the planet. It's like, this doesn't feel like this is a profit-making organisation. This is just something that people have realised they can make a quick buck by doing a race. This course is here all the time. It's been here for 30 years. This runs constantly. I'm a volunteer. Everyone here is a volunteer. It's all, but like, this wouldn't happen if it wasn't for just sheer love. You can't say that about any other event in the country.
relation to this event, my main thing is like operational management. I might have to organise marshals, I might have to work out where some electrics are going, I might have to organise first aid, I have to bring all the support marshal groups together, which is young firefighters, army cadets, air training corps, all those characters, and bring all those people together to make sure we've got enough people in place to support the runners. But on the day, it's health and safety. It's my job to make sure the risk assessments are done, and we've done everything we can to make sure the runner is safe.
Come on! Push up now! Push up now! I am one of the marshals here at Tough Guy. Today on race day, we help out where required. We make sure that no man is left at the end. We are the Braveheart battle crew, and we bring up the rear right throughout Tough Guy.
Go, go, go! Come on, guys! Shoot down!
There's nobody like Tough Guy marshals. Lots of people volunteer. They say we'd like to become a Tough Guy marshal, but to be a Tough Guy marshal, you've got to be more special because we need a lot out of you because it's such a tough race.
My nickname here in England is Beefcake. Normal name is Chris. I'm from Germany, 38 years old now. In here since, I don't know, 2011, yeah. Competed 2 times as a normal competitioner, and then and somehow went over to the running marshal stuff and caring about those German people who are coming over here, because I think Germany is the country with the most competitionists. Some of them don't speak so much good English, so it's like a helping hand, giving them tips how to prepare for the race, what kind of clothes they should wear, what kind of shoes, when they should be in here, and so on.
It's very wonderful here, the British weather, and every time we are coming back, year after year after year. Maybe in 20 years you see this and you see us as old guys.
You come to Tough Guy every year and the atmosphere here is absolutely fantastic. You know, you're going to have 4,000 or 5,000 runners all on the course, all just basically encouraging each other along.
There's no race like it. It is the best race in the world. You come here, the atmosphere, the vibe, the support.
I think everybody realises from a very early point in the course, you cannot do this alone. You need support, you need encouragement, and that's what Tough Guy is. It's a huge family where people go through the pains and the rigours and the heartache, but there's always somebody there to kind of give them a lending hand, or an encouraging pat in the back, or a kick up the arse where needed. So it's outstanding.
Everybody today writes about that greatness of helping each other, and the camaraderie actually came from what we called the mucking in spirit. When we were in the trenches, when we were in the mud and the filth and the awfulness of trench warfare, and you were cold and wet, 8 days on parade or 8 days in the hillsides, and every day, because you were a grenadier guard. So it was a very, very long, broad, tough time, but because of that, we were all equal. It brought us together and we shared. So if somebody had a food parcel from home with a bit of cake in it, we shared it. So it was a sharing thing that grabbed me in my heart of what we needed to bring back to ordinary life today. And the first London Marathon, where 5,000 people took part, and there wasn't enough money for enough facilities, and we finished up the side of Buckingham Palace, and because there wasn't enough to go round, everybody was shattered, and a cup of cocoa came along. Take a sip and pass it on. Take a sip and pass it on. And I said, wow, the mucking in spirit has come to running. This is what we developed. So that's how it all developed, and the Tough Guy was built so that people would help each other. Sharing is a great future. Helping each other all the time. That is what people enjoy out there, is the helping hand. When a front runner will stop and give a hand. Front runner will stop and give a hand to help somebody out of a ditch. And that is what I decided to change by creating running and creating the fun runs and the jogging and the Tough Guy. So I brought all that wonderful mucking in spirit.
The sense of achievement when you finish is incredible. and also sense of kind of camaraderie and community with everyone is really, really good. I mean, it does feel like you're trying to be killed ever so slightly. There's a slight undercurrent, but it's a really, really good atmosphere and a really, really good experience.
I think Tough Guy really is the bee's knees. I think it's really tough, you know, like it's not like Tough Mudder or anything else. I think it's sort of a lot more challenging, and it's just, the main reason is it's just so cold.
Well, we've seen the video of James from last year, finishing dizzy over the line and not really knowing where he was.
Seriously, shivering.
Seriously, just
take your shoe off, I'll get it back. I'll come back.
Red Bull have declared this as the 7th coldest event on the planet. So we have to then provide to make sure that we don't kill people by putting on the Ghost Squad and putting on a team who can drag them out and tell them that they're in the 3rd stage of hypothermia. You've gone past the shaking, the shivering, you're starting to go delirious, you want to carry on, your brain is telling you, but your body's dying.
It's exactly as cold and horrible as it looks. It makes you can't breathe, like when we went under the water.
Tough Guy is an exceptionally hard race, and a lot of people train really hard to come here, and people will be pushed to their absolute limits here, and people sometimes don't like it when they start suffering with something like hypothermia and a paramedic pulls them out the race and then they don't finish, because in normal life having hypothermia is a reason to stop, right? At Tough Guy, it's just part of the thing. You're doing it, oh, now I've got hypothermia, you carry on going. So the idea is that the paramedics aren't meant to just pull you out if you start suffering from something that in normal life would be a good reason to stop everything. So one of the ways in which we can help out is because we've done it ourselves, we know what it's like, we can spot who's just got hypothermia and they're going to push through and then they're going to one up at the end, and who genuinely needs to come out because they're in trouble.
I've done a lot of races, dozens of races, and this one's the most near and dear to my heart because it's the original and the man behind it. There's a method to his madness. There's a lot to learn on this course. It humbles you, makes you feel very grateful to be alive, and it's terrifying, and I think fear is a good teacher.
You know, whether it be OCR racing, whether it be boot camps, outdoor exercise now is being prescribed by GPs. And I would advise every GP, for anyone who's suffering any form of illness or depression, come and do Tough Guy. This will get rid of your depression, I'll guarantee it.
I think that's lovely to spread smiles throughout the world and to give people the thrill to come and rub the wonderful aroma that's around me, which is just simply friendliness, and that is something we need to say is, can Tough Guy bring peace to the world?